All right, I know you guys have been waiting for our second MLS club, and we're going to talk about Houston Dynamo today. Dynamo started in 2005, although they have an interesting origin story since they're actually from San Jose. The club that was there, San Jose Earthquakes, moved down to Houston that year because they couldn't fund a stadium in San Jose. They actually restarted a couple seasons after that, and Dynamo continued as an expansion club. For you NFL fans, think of this like the Browns moving to Baltimore to become the Ravens in the 90s, and the Browns restarting in Cleveland later, the two clubs not being the same. This is their away kit from 2016. There's a lot that goes into it that I want to talk about. As you can see at the bottom, they have the Texan flag, which is a common thing in MLS to hold the flag within the kit somewhere, usually in the bottom left, something that's similarly done in Spain with putting the regional flag at the back of the neck. Across the neck, you can see the powder blue as well as the orange, which are their home kit colors. They take the blue from the flag of Houston. And finally, on the badge, you can see they have 2 stars above it, as well as 1 within. The original one within just represents the Lone Star of Texas. And the top 2 represent the fact that they've won the MLS Cup twice, also winning it back-to-back, only 1 of 3 clubs to have ever done that. They just recently changed their badge, and it's got some great symbology in it. Their badge is a bit uncommon because it has 6 sides, each of them representing the 6 wards that originally made up the city of Houston. The H and D in the center interlope a little bit with the lines here. They represent the waterways that are predominant around the city of Houston. And finally, they have a lightning bolt at the bottom. That represents the fact that Houston is a huge hub for the energy industry in America. While that's the primary reason they chose the name Dynamo, it's also an homage to a lot of Eastern European clubs like Dynamo Zagreb, Dynamo Kyiv, as well as Dynamo Dresden. Their primary home color is orange, which they keep across the front of the away kit here. It also lends their nickname the Orange Crush. In a previous video, I mentioned anytime I do an MLS club, I'm going to talk about something that's unique or different to many leagues around the world that MLS does. The quick mention here is there are 2 conferences within MLS. Having 2 conferences within one league is pretty uncommon for countries, although it does lead into playoffs, which are much more common in the Western Hemisphere. Dynamo have a solid squad at the moment, so let's mention Darwin Quintero because we talked about him last week when we did Santos Laguna. They also have a good goal-scoring winger in Fafa Pico. Dynamo have had some really solid MLS players down the years, with the names that come to mind being Brad Davis, a great goal-scoring and assisting threat from the midfield, their all-time goal scorer, Brian Ching, as well as Jeff Cameron, who you might know from the EPL if you've watched a couple seasons ago when Stoke City was in the league. So that's your rundown on Houston Dynamo.